It's probably going to be the last time that we have a Southeastern Conference Eastern Division. So 2023, right around the corner. In 2024, everyone should expect a 9-game schedule from the SEC and no divisions. So let's talk about which team can inch closer to the dogs in the SEC East, because from here on out, the divisions are going to be gone. It is going to be sad, but it's going to take some getting used to, I think, too, generally speaking. I mean, Georgia's still going to have the Gators and Auburn, probably South Carolina or maybe Kentucky, but some of those, three of those four schools, two of them for sure. But in 23, who is the most likely to inch up and really give Georgia a fight? I think there's possibly two answers. One makes more sense than the other. Let's just go down the list of the SEC Eastern schools, and we will get through this. I promise. Hey, while I'm typing this in, make sure you're going to Red Zone, y'all. They are downtown in Clayton, and it's right now with with spring break, it's not super crowded. They've got a bunch of exclusive stuff you cannot get anywhere else. You're not going to be able to get it on Fanatics or at the bookstore or wherever you shop, but you can order stuff online too. But I would make sure that you're going downtown to Athens to check that out. And in addition, if you want to link to some of their stuff, you can, the link is down below, so you can check that out for yourself. But all right, let's take a look at this. This SEC East, probably the final frontier, the final go round. Vanderbilt, the bottom is pretty rough. Okay, so Vanderbilt finished with a 5-7 season. If you've forgotten, they beat the Gators last season at the close of the year. I mean, it was a rough close of the year for Florida, losing 3 in a row. But Vanderbilt with that loss, I think they lost to Tennessee to close the season. Missouri lost to Arkansas to close the season. So all these teams had winning records at home, just straight up, except Vandy. So I don't see Vanderbilt coming close to Georgia. We can have a discussion about Missouri. The Dogs go to Vanderbilt. I look forward very much to my trip to Nashville. So, Missouri has to come to Athens. And although Mizzou really put up a fight with Georgia last season, I'm pretty skeptical that they would be able to do that again. They were 1-4 on the road. The Gators and Cats sort of, both finished 3-5 in the league. 7-6 for the Cats, 6-7 for the Gators. Florida will probably be better than Kentucky next year. I'm not totally sure that's going to be the case. Not laughing at these programs. I just don't know. I mean, Billy Napier's got a lot on his plate at Florida. That is a rough go round right now. Hey, by the way, listen, if you're picking up Double Dogs, order today, or the confetti is probably going to be gone quickly here. We've got some. I don't know how much more we've got, and I've done like a confetti audit a couple of times for y'all. Sometimes there's hearts in them, but pick it up now, or there's really no guarantee. But make sure you're ordering it if you want the confetti, because in April it ain't gonna be there. I can tell you that right now. It might not be there in like 10 days. So anyway, Kentucky, if Will Levis is as good as everybody says he is, then that's going to hurt, right? I mean, Stetson Bennett's leaving. That hurts Georgia. I don't know if Kentucky has the level of player that can come in and produce the way Levis did these last 2 seasons, frankly. And their offensive line has been rough. Florida, that quarterback situation is bad right now. So we'll just see where that goes. You got to transfer in from Wisconsin or Notre Dame. I can't even remember. It's not good. South Carolina, had a very good close to the season. The win over Tennessee, the win over the Taters. They were going crazy. This was a great moment for them. The close was awesome. They were 8-5 last year, so they've got to come to Athens. You know, we'll just see. My pick for who's going to inch closer is Tennessee or South Carolina. Now, Tennessee has a much better argument to be made that they would be the one that's inching closer. And I don't really know how that would be up for dispute. I mean, Tennessee has a quarterback that has played college football in a major way. It's just like South Carolina. I mean, Spencer Rattler, say what you want. When he calms down and does the right thing, when he plays quarterback, he's pretty good. Um, but he's not surrounded with great parts. The problem for Tennessee is, although Milton is coming in as the starter, presumably, like he was presumably the starter in the past, you're losing some of the firepower. But don't listen. Josh Heupel, they're going to score at Tennessee. They just are. It's what it is. I think the most notable thing about the Vols going into one of the most notable things about the Vols going into 23 is there were only three schools in the SEC that were undefeated at home last year, and Tennessee was one of them. The other two were Alabama and Georgia. So that's going to be a challenging fight for Georgia at Neyland. It's just going to be. That's all there is to it. It's a hard place to play. You know, that's going to be a tough one. And that Tennessee is in capable hands for the first time in, I mean, since Phil Fulmer for sure, and the last however many years of Phil Fulmer were not good. Um, I think they are something to be, to be watched, to be monitored for sure. That's what I would say. Hey, look, tonight I'm getting DoorDash. I don't know about y'all. I've been using it a lot lately because of my traveling is one thing, but really we use it at home a lot. Anyway, hey, look, you can get 50% off your DoorDash order today. $20 value when you use the code DAWG, DAWG at checkout. Limited time offer and terms apply. Again, it's $50, 50% off, a $20 value, no minimum subtotal, and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store. Enter the code DAWG, DAWG, just like Dog Post or Double Dogs. Don't forget that code is DAWG for 50% off. I think y'all know how to spell it, DAWG, on your first order with DoorDash. I don't know. I wonder if Calhoun's in Knoxville has DoorDash. That's a good question. Um, but it will be a real fight up at Neyland for Georgia, which makes me think that Tennessee is probably the closest to really challenging Georgia. I don't think we are knocking on the door of someone other than Georgia winning the SEC championship, the SEC East. I mean, it's the last year. I don't think that Georgia can end as the SEC East champions all time by winning this year, but they will come. They will certainly, come close. Yeah, they will. If they win this season, they would be the number. They'd still be number two in the East, and they would continue to be the number three overall team um, in SEC championship history. Now that's going to continue. The championship will continue, but Georgia's won the East 10 times. The Gators have won it 13. Um, and this is straight up championships. Now Georgia and Florida both would argue they have other division titles, but I mean, come on, man. I mean, like let's not do that thing where we're sort of counting championship. That's some Georgia Tech shit, if you ask me, and Alabama too, if we're being honest. But Bama's been there 14 times and has won it 10. Florida's been there 13 times and has won it 7. Those two are the only. There are three schools that have winning percentages, actual winning percentages, not losing percentages. Alabama and LSU are tied at 714 in terms of winning percentage, 71%. The Gators are at 53, 54%. Georgia's at 40%. Everybody else is, well, actually Tennessee is at 40% and Auburn is at 3-3. So how about that? But you know, I don't know that we're gonna see Tennessee has not made an appearance in the SEC championship game since 2007. It has been Georgia or Florida since 2014. So they have utterly and totally dominated the division the last 10 years. And I think the winner of that game, let's see, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. The winner of Georgia Florida has gone to the SEC championship every year since 2015. And my suspicion is the winner of Georgia Florida this year will go to the SEC championship game as well. But we'll just see. We'll see how that goes. I think Tennessee Georgia is going to be a challenge for the Dogs. If I'm betting on one team to be the biggest pusher, it's going to be these guys, the Tennessee Vols. That's what I think. You tell me down below. Don't mention Vanderbilt.